Greetings and salutations. With millions across the United States facing evictions, over 150,000 U.S. citizens no longer with us due to the U.S. government's abject failure in responding to the COVID-19 pandemic, and weather experts now predicting hurricane season is set to unleash at least 13 brutal hurricanes on U.S. shores in the coming months. I bet with all of that, you cannot guess where the priorities of the United States Congress were focused this week. If you guessed funneling more money into the Pentagon, you, my friends, are correct. You win the new car. Yes, Time magazine is reporting that tucked neatly into the Senate Republicans' latest $1 trillion COVID-19 response package is a nice $8 billion into Pentagon weapons systems built by defense contractors like Boeing, Lockheed Martin, and General Dynamics. And what kind of virus and disease-fighting weapons will this $8 billion buy us tax-paying citizens? Well, Time magazine goes on to report that the bill would deposit $2.2 billion in Pentagon shipbuilding accounts. It would boost missile defense systems in California and Alaska and deliver about $1.4 billion for the C-130 transport planes and F-35 fighters manufactured by the good folks at Lockheed Martin. And as journalists and activists around the U.S. begin to uncover this latest billion-dollar defense contractor gift basket, they are being labeled as adversaries by the Pentagon. Politico is now reporting that a new mandatory Pentagon training course aimed at preventing leaks refers to protesters and journalists as adversaries in a fictional scenario designed to teach Defense Department personnel how to better protect sensitive information. Adversaries is the term they use. Yes, those working on the front lines of the First Amendment to our Constitution, protesters and journalists, are now considered adversaries in Pentagon training camps. But are we really all that shocked? I mean, after all, we are living in a country where when a month ago, the United States Secretary of Defense Mark Esper recently asked governors to dominate the battle space when describing efforts to contain and disband Black Lives Matter protests. Which is why today we'll be knee-deep in the battle space of the First Amendment as we take on the military-industrial complex and their benefactors and start watching the Hawks. Welcome everybody to Watching the Hawks. I am Tyrell Ventura.
And I'm Lisa Cross.
And joining us today to discuss the latest domestic military-industrial complex news is the former senior security policy analyst from the Office of the Secretary of Defense, the one and only Michael Maloof. Michael, we haven't had you on in forever. Thank you for coming on today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So, Michael, bottom line, is there any real-world military justification for putting billions into the F-35 and arms spending into a COVID-19 recovery bill?
Oh, absolutely not. In fact, I'm shocked that even the Senate Republicans would even buy into that, simply because they made a very strong point that they wanted strictly for stimulus to put people back to work. There's no place for this kind of stimulus package for the military at this point in the stimulus package. The Congress passed a $740 billion defense budget already, and they can always add supplements later, but keep it divorced from this. This just muddies the priorities, and it really shows that the Trump administration's priorities, including the Defense Department, is very, very skewed.